should you get a bad boss for whatever reason, right? Just from the company's perspective, ways in which some of that can be rectified, and more importantly, how can the companies, what can they do to help our Gen Zs? So there's two questions as a way to say that, okay, if I'm a Gen Z, I sense some of this, just what are some solutions?
I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation too, Nikhil, but what I'd like to structure this one in terms of the 2 points, and I'll look at the 3 stakeholders involved in this, the Gen Z themselves, the manager, the toxic boss, and the organization, right? So I think the 2 things I always say is reflect, right? Take a pit stop. What we call in F1, we talk about taking a pit stop. So slow down to move faster is a great thing. So as a Gen Z employee, I think reflect, connect. We've spoken about many ways, but reflect on what you can do with the intent of obviously continuing to stay in this organization because you enjoy the work and etc. that is happening. As a manager, I think without even an issue being raised, I think each manager today needs to start reflecting on their leadership style. And there are many ways that you can do that. So as a manager, you've got to reflect on, and if you've been like that because you've also been unaware about that this is what a toxicity is, it's time to take action around it. So reflect on your own personal style. And I think organizations need to also start reflecting on their culture, right? So have we been organizations, do we inculcate leaders to talk in a certain way, right? It's okay to, and it starts at the very top leadership. So I think organizations also need to step back and reflect on the fact that we have new generation coming in, and how do we change, not just for the new Gen Z, but for everybody. I think it's time that we really took that. So those are that's on the reflection. I think the second is it's time for constructive action. And I really mindfully use the word constructive because that's the positive take that we need to take. So we've spoken about Gen Zs, speaking up, being patient, and obviously acting upon a lot of this. The manager as well needs to start taking feedback, right? So we talk about reverse mentoring, 360-degree feedback. We, as a leadership development expert, we found that very, very crucial. So how do managers, and they can do this on their own. They don't need an HR or somebody from the outside to come and do it. It's a simple conversation you can have, which just means that you're more open to listening to different feedback that's there. Make it anonymous, make a forms that's there, and just get some feedback consistently about your style from different people. And I think for managers, like we've spoken about, just take the action of changing your behaviors. If it means training yourself in unconscious biases, training that may happen, if it means going for a leadership development program. So it's important that we take that. And the third for the organizations, I think, is 3-4 things for organizations is take action, which is if it needs to fire an employee, a leader, a manager, you're setting benchmarks, you're setting a role model so that others can follow. If you don't take actions as organizations, and this is obviously also to the HR, but you're setting the wrong example that's there. The second is have the right policies and the support frameworks to support the new Gen Z to take care, which means even putting the Gen Zs into training around having those conversations, being able to be mindful, be patient. So the organizations have to look at overall and see what support from a training perspective, policy perspective, do I take to support this transition that we're all into. So that's sort of the summary that I'd like to leave our listeners with.